The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Hey, we're here, and it's June. How?
Yeah.
How?
Time flies when you're having fun. Aren't we having fun this year, boys and girls?
No.
Time to drink from the fire hose!
Is that the hose for putting out the fire, or the hose where the fire comes out?
You know what? Either way, pick your poison.
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah. But there is a silver lining to the massive thunderstorm that is 2025.
Yeah.
And that is this show, where we answer your questions that come from patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and by being a YouTube member.
Yes, indeed. Thank you all for keeping us afloat as we bail out. It's been a year, and it's only June. All right, first Swagmaster E is going to start us off. Do you ever feel hesitant to add new original characters when writing fan fiction, licensed media, or even original stories? I'm always concerned that whenever I come up with a new character, that the role could have been fulfilled by an existing character, or that they will ruin the established dynamic of the characters we already have. When do you feel it is appropriate to add a new character?
Well, fanfic and original work are worlds apart from a licensed product. A licensed product, you have to stick within the rules and parameters of that product. You're going to have multiple overseers of this product, and you're going to be adding something that may become part of the canon, or at least within the realm of that spin-off, whatever you're working on. There's a lot of input there. So when you're creating something new, you don't only have to make sure that it works with the narrative. You have to convince a lot of people that it's going to work, that this is worthwhile. With fanfic or your original work, it's your stuff. You can do whatever you want with it. But it's still a very valid question to ask yourself. Case in point with Drogoon, in early drafts, I had a character that was very much involved with a key plot point or turnaround, and was a narrative window into some of the stuff in Galaxon. But he was also taking a lot of time away from the main cast to do all this. So I asked myself, do I need him? Is he necessary? So I took him out and said, how do I achieve what I need to achieve without him? And the result was something much more streamlined and something way more focused on the core cast. I'm losing a little bit of the greater world building, but there's only so much time and page, so it has to be.
Yeah.
And I think the story itself is stronger for it. So if you have your new character and you're not sure if they're working, take them out. See if the story can still succeed with what you already have and what you have to do to make it work. And if it really is like pulling teeth, if you're doing mental gymnastics to reach these points that you need to reach without the character, then they are necessary. And to another point, you don't want to become too comfortable with your own material. You know these characters, you know how they interact, you can stagnate. So maybe that new character is going to liven things up, challenge them and you on how everything interacts. We are all terrified of making our poochies. So it is good to do your due diligence. Examine the character, why you created them, why they're involved, and what they're bringing to the table. And if they work, go with it. If they don't work, well, you have the time to revise and take it out. It's your stuff. Do it.
Screw it. Embrace your own scrappy do. Put them in there. Yeah. Here's one from Aiden7479. It's been 2 years since Tears of the Kingdom came out, and we have a Warriors game to go with it on the horizon. We know you weren't exactly the biggest fan of the game, but you did say that you enjoyed the finale of the game more than Breath of the Wild. Now that it's been some time and spoilers aren't as much of a concern, would you care to elaborate on that?
Now, Aaliyah hasn't finished the game still and is within earshot, so I'm still going to tippy-toe around the finer details. But with Breath of the Wild, as much as I love that game, as much as I will defend so many aspects of it, the final boss was a letdown. Calamity Ganon was neat. This horrible, twisted amalgamation of anger and machinery and spite and all that. That was fine. Not terribly hard, but it was fine. It was a cathartic end, symbolic end. But the real final boss was Big Pig.
Yeah.
Jump in there, shoot Big Pig. It didn't move. It didn't shoot. Didn't do anything. It just, you shot it and bleh. Boring. Tears of the Kingdom, for all of its many narrative flaws, getting to the final boss was a challenge. It felt like an escalation of what you were doing. And I cheesed it. I ain't gonna lie. I ran for the exits. That big pit with the Lionel, no, I put a glider on there and just whoop, flew over his head. I ain't fighting that. You crazy?
You didn't make that hover cycle that literally everybody made and just flew over the entire game?
Kyle, we have established I could not figure out how to build anything truly functional. This was just like the standard glider with like a rocket on it. I aimed myself and whoosh, because I did not trust myself to do anything more complex.
I think it's like 4 things, and you can make a blueprint of it so you never have to actually physically build it again.
Yes. Regardless. And then you get down to, I guess, like the penultimate phase, the big gauntlet. And while some elements of it are a little rehashy, I do feel like it is a nice send-off to everything you've experienced up to that point. Or if you skipped most of the content, a big slap upside the face. This is what you missed. You're going to fight it and you're going to like it. Unless you did all the extra stuff, in which case it's a big celebration of all you achieved. So it's either a challenge of all that you've learned and accomplished, or it is a reward for all the extra work. I like it. It's cool. I dig it. Phase 1 proper of the boss was great. The health bar, as it appears.
Breaking the 4th wall, literally.
Yeah. The first time he counter swings you and you're like, oh, I can't abuse that anymore. And the first time you get hit, it's not just a matter of the gear you've gathered and the stats you've buffed. You have to know how to play the stinking game to beat this guy. And I like that. It is a culmination of everything you have learned and worked towards. Dig it. Love it. Great. And then the true finale, the final boss.
Yeah.
Again, not terribly challenging, but the spectacle of it was fantastic. The meaning of it was a great end cap to what they had failed to deliver up to this point. You had to actually engage with the gameplay rather than shoot pig. It was epic in the truest sense of the word, and I really, really liked it. And again, little easy, but kind of a reward for getting through everything else that came before while still making you work for it. So yeah, all my gripes of Tears of the Kingdom aside, they nailed the ending. That was fantastic.
Well, I've been over here in the chat talking about all the times Zelda and Link have kissed, which is never, apparently. They almost have in Skyward Sword and possibly in Zelda 2, but it's behind a curtain. You never know.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of folks were getting, excited because Tears of the Kingdom, the house you bought in Hatana Village, Zelda lives there now. They finally committed. Except there's just a single bed in there, and it's a lot of her stuff. And then Link has to go buy a new house over in like Terrytown. So I think what happened is Breath of the Wild concluded, and Zelda's like, I am so tired. It's been 100 years. I have been fighting by sheer force of will. I really just want to take a nap. Mm-hmm. And Link's like, well, there's a house over here you can crash at. And she's like, oh, Link, you got me a house? Link's like, sure did.
Yep, I did.
Welcome back to Hyrule. And she's like, oh, I can't wait to move in. And Link's like, yeah, I'll grab my stuff.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, that's true love, you know? True platonic love, because that's the best they can do.
Now, if it had been a double bed in that house, I wouldn't be saying a word, but
yeah, nope.
That's a tiny bed. And I know Link is a tiny man, but no.
Yeah. Is she taller than him in Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
If anything,
okay.
she's a bit smaller.
No, she is taller. Yeah, that's right.
She is?
I think she is.
Son of a gun.
I think she's just barely taller. I mean, hey, you know what? We stand a short king. Come on.
Yeah, nothing against Link. It's just usually you have to have the dude taller than the woman in these types of things for some reason.
You'd think. Huh. Well, I mean, Peach is taller than Mario, but...
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But she's not taller than her true husband, Bowser.
True. Everyone's taller than Link, to be fair, at least in the more recent games. All right, question from Alolan Figment. I'm very interested in catching up on Dragoon, especially with Book 1 on the horizon. Unfortunately, I can't relate to our main cast struggles if I don't even know their favorite ice cream color. Their favorite ice cream flavor. Maybe you can answer both, Ian. I'm not going to even bother cutting this out and fixing that. What's their favorite ice cream color and their favorite ice cream flavor? Come on. Let's salvage this freaking disaster.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to leave it dead air so you could go back and do a pickup. But okay, we're committing to the bit.
I respect that. I literally was reading flavor and said color. I knew I was saying the wrong word, and yet I said it anyway. Oh, man. I am losing it. I am losing it. Okay. Anyway, answer the dang questions, Ian Flynn.
Foreign, I imagine, isn't terribly picky. He just wants like the premium ice cream, something that's actually been properly churned with real milk. This is something that doesn't taste like wall paste but cold. He wants the real stuff. Nothing too fancy. A nice vanilla is fine. A nice chocolate is fine. It just needs that really rich, silky texture. And he'll be good. It just needs to be quality, like that $10 carton, not that $2 one.
Oh, no. He wants his bougie ice cream.
Yeah, he wants good, and he'll even like eat it out of like the tiny cups with like a tiny spoon. He's not gonna do like a whole big bowl because that's indulgent. Now, Wind wants something that's got all the flavors in it. We're talking like 2 different kinds of Ben and Jerry's just combined.
Mm-hmm.
The peanut butter and the cookie dough and the chocolate chunks and the pistachio and the nuts and the chocolate and the vanilla and the strawberry. Why not everything? Maybe there's 2 cartons. Like she's going to make her own nightmare Neapolitan.
Oh, no.
And she's going to take it to the entire carton with an ice cream scoop. Not a spoon, an ice cream scoop. Basically, she just wants the texture. She wants to crunch and munch through things, and it's cold, and it will give her the ice cream headache, and that's just a challenge to eat it faster.
Oh, boy.
Jobun doesn't really like it. It's cold. Why do you want to put a cold thing inside you? That's gross. And it's mushy. That's a weird texture. That's gross. No, thank you. Maybe he'll chew on the carton once it's left over and empty. Now, that's got texture. That's got a little bit of give, but also a little bit of not give. It's all right. It's not his favorite snack, but it'll do in a pinch.
He likes to eat paper. Good for him.
And Lissy, not too terribly picky, but it has to be in a waffle cone.
Mm.
It has to be a fresh waffle cone, too, because if it's like the dry one that's been sitting out for a while, or if it's gotten cold and kind of soggy, then it's just sad. And not in the kind of dismissive way, we would say something sad. She thinks it's honestly like emotionally sad. You made the waffle cone sad because you didn't eat it in time. It's not hot and happy anymore. It's a sad waffle cone. And you can't have a sad waffle cone.
No, you gotta have the happiest waffle cone ever. And when it's Lissy's, that's always the happiest.
That's right. And the color, well, that depends on whatever flavor they're shoveling in their faces at the time.
Okay. Question from Andrew D. It's time for more anti-Mega Man. This time it's Ultimate Betrayal. After an emotional reunion with his family, Mega Man left for the new Wily Castle, where he had a battle and a heart-to-heart with Breakman, who blasted a safer entrance into the castle and left. Mega Man defeated Wily's forces, but the two were seemingly lost in the castle's debris. Thanks to Breakman, though, Mega Man awakened safely at home. Meanwhile, the X Foundation loomed over the castle's remains. How does this play out?
So Wily has taken, Gamma.
Yeah.
To stop Light from conquering the world. And Light is mad as hell because he's been tricked. He doesn't get tricked. He tricks other people. He uses other people. How dare that Wily trick and use him? Unforgivable. Now, Mega Man, he legally can't disengage the 3 rules of robotics, but the human body can suffer all sorts of things and still survive. You fall far enough, gravity will take care of the rest. You didn't do anything. You got me, boy. I don't know why Light sounds like this now, but you get the idea. And Anti-Mega Man's just like, oh boy, here we go. Here I go, kill it again. And tears through the Robot Masters. That's pretty par for the course. The Breakman fight. Breakman is just done with Rock at this point. You're a fool. You are a tool in every sense of the word. We gonna fight. And they do. And for plot reasons, Mega Man has to win. Fights with Wily. Wily is scrambling. Please, how do you work a Gamma? There's no instruction manual, and Light was too quiet about how to actually operate it, and he didn't want to show his hand. Oh God, fight. So everything falls apart. And it's Roll who saves Mega Man. Because she knew this was going to fall apart. These idiots are going to blow themselves up. She knows that. And as much as she would love to take power for herself, she doesn't want to be on the front lines. Mega Man loves to go on the front line, so she needs him alive. So she'll make sure he survives. And the X Foundation is still the same, but with the twist of they're going to continue the theatrics. Make it seem like Dr. Wily is the big bad. But this is all a front to excuse openly challenging Dr. Light and actually saving the world in the process.
Well then, what will happen next time in the adventures of Anti-Mega Man and the good, kindly Dr. Wily? Tune in next time. KB has a question. If Ian was a dinosaur, what kind would he be?
What would I be, or what do I want to be? Because those are different things.
Why not both?
I mean, if we're talking what I would be, given my shape and size and my tendency to graze, probably some form of sauropod. We'll go with Diplodocus because that's fun to say. Not the biggest thing around, but he ain't moving anywhere fast. What I want to be is a Troodon because those are the coolest freaking thing in the world.
Yeah.
But we've covered this.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you guys want to hear me go on another 30-minute tangent on why the Troodon is the best Adon.
Troodon is the best Adon. Yeah, I don't know. Some people do. The chat
it's
does.
all the cool stuff about a velociraptor, but also a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go wrong. Forward-facing binocular vision, opposable thumbs, 6 sickle claws. Are you kidding? It was a dromaeosaur, so it probably had feathers. So you have this cool, like, hawk dino chimp thing. It would have ruled the world, man!
Yeah, but does it have a Zord?
It probably would have built one, given enough time. That pesky meteor is the only reason why we're here.
It's true. It's true. All right. Next up, question from Comic the Hedgehog. Isma has had enough of Kronk messing up her plans and decides to hire a new henchman. The new henchman? Launchpad McQuack. Is he more effective or less effective? And how quickly will Yzma go crazy? Bonus, how would Scrooge like having Kronk as a driver? This seems like a side grade in both instances.
Come on, get me to the money bin, please. Yeah. Scrooge's money bin. The money bin belonged to Scrooge. The entire money bin holding the money that belongs to Scrooge McDuck. That money bin. Yes, that money bin! Honestly, I don't think Launchpad's going to work out for Yzma.
No.
Because he's willing to help, and and I believe he's somewhat more functional than Kronk. But he actually has a moral compass. So it may take him a little bit, but once he clues into the fact that Yzma is just like evil, he's going to sign off. He's not going to be a part of this. He's very sorry. He signed the contract and everything, hates to leave her in the lurch. He'll, hand out some recommendations on his way out the door, but he's not going to be a part of this because, it's evil. Also, he's somehow going to crash that roller coaster onto the lab.
We all know Launchpad will still pull the wrong lever.
Well, yeah.
Conga has a question. Oh no, your writing has led to a chain reaction that ended in a nuclear winter. So now you're in hell. Oh yeah, Kyle's there too. What does hell look like for both of you?
It's the BumbleKast, and all we get are shipping questions, rabbit questions, and shipping rabbit questions.
Oh, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Why am I there? Because obviously I'm going to hell. We know this.
Well, I mean, we share the same body. We're kind of like cat dog.
Oh, right. That's no, that's a different question, recurring scenario on the show. DDR Master M has a question. Pinkie Pie appears at the Bumble compound to celebrate Ian's upcoming birthday. How do you react and how does it go? We're a little past Ian's birthday, but that's okay.
She might show up anyway. You can't really stop Pinkie Pie. How do you mitigate that level of chaos? You kind of have to accept it, embrace it. Whatever she suggests, go with it. Mm-hmm. And that way it doesn't escalate necessarily. She introduces this fun game idea. Oh, God. Okay, yes. That was so much fun. And you know what? It tired me out. Thanks so much for coming. Bye-bye.
I mean, I'll go with that. Honestly, I don't know much about Pinkie Pie, so she can do what she wants.
In these scenarios, the path of least resistance is no resistance at all, but we still come out okay.
Yeah. Apparently, Pinkie Pie does respect boundaries, so if you tell her something specifically, like a defined guideline, then it'll be okay.
Yes, but you have to get a word in edgewise, and it kind of depends on which season we're talking about. It's something that she learns and grows towards.
Oh,
so
okay.
She's just excited and wants people to be happy. You can't fault her for that. At the same time, you're at an 11. We need to dial it back down to a 2.
And even then, a 2 might be a little too much. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to take a break?
I think we are, and we will be back with more BumbleKast. Stay tuned for a patron-sponsored ad. Double L has a book out and hates long ad reads. Go read Masters of the System, Genesisters, a sci-fi take on the 90s console war. It's at llbryant.ca/books. Link in the description.
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Jobs. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can get that right.
No, we can get that.
Okay. We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
Just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee The Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast.
Ciao.
All right, Double L is here with the longest text adventure of our lives. As that continues, to recap, me and Ian share a body. We're in a room. There's 2 doors, a bed, and a window. There's 2 humans outside. A friendly mouse is under the bed, and we have 5 dust bunnies in our inventory. Last time...
We've also ascertained we were some kind of gator man.
Yes. Last time, we combined our actions and threw the bed at the window. So, let's go ahead and resolve that one. Being completely in sync for the first time, you grasp the bed with your big, strong hands. The bed is bolted down, but physics is not on its side as you effortlessly fling it towards the window. In the moment while the bed flies through the air, Deli yells an expletive that can't be repeated on air and rushes inside the mouse hole. The bed collides with the window, causing it to chip and reverberate but not crack. The nurse falls back in fear, but the man doesn't flinch, a self-satisfying smile curling around his face. He says, Aqualamad, win navmag deska, aklugidubdium. Deli peers out from the hole and translates, good arm. You see the nurse run off in fear, leaving the smiling man alone.
That smile. Are you asking for a challenge? Also of note, the bed was bolted.
Yeah.
So any energy we put into the throw was lost tearing out the bolts. And we threw it. So energy was lost in the friction against the air as it flew into said window.
Sure.
The bed is now free.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer have to throw. That means all the energy can be put in a big old hefty gator boy baseball swing. And that glass is already chipped.
Yes.
My good sir, I posit to you here on this fine BumbleKast. We pick up the bed. We aim for that little chink in the armor.
Yeah.
And we bash that window open.
Let's do it.
Yes, violence. We're in agreement on violence.
Violence is the answer.
Husbands to back us up. How we can't lose.
Violence is the answer. It's always the answer.
Why didn't we do this from the get-go?
I don't know.
I mean, sure, it was nice talking to Deli, but
we were just kind of seeing where this was going. But I mean, there was only one place
through the window.
That's one place it could have gone, and yeah, it's through the window. All right. Let's move on to a question from Dove. Hey guys, I'm having a little problem and hoped you could help. I decided to get out and see the world as a traveling real estate agent. It's going pretty well. I'm in Eastern Europe and my first gig is this really old castle. But the guy that's selling it kind of creeps me out. He only wants to meet at night and I think he's some kind of carpenter or something. 'Cause there's a ton of coffins in his basement. Also, this guy is really bad at personal space. Always right behind me and asking about my diet and stuff. Plus, I've seen him kissing a bunch of people on the neck. I don't want to walk away. The commission on a castle would be huge, but I just don't know. Do you think it's worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, castles in Eastern Europe with such a dedicated seller, you're not going to find an opportunity like this again. He may be a bit of a pain in the neck, but I would say if he approaches you with any kind of offer, especially a personal merger,
yeah,
go with it. Because all you're going to do is gain benefits from it. If you resist, you're going to feel drained. You're going to lose daylight hours. It's not really worth it. If you go with it, though, fully embrace the offer he's making,
yeah,
you reap all the benefits. You get to pull the long hours that he does. You get to meet all sorts of interesting people. You might even be able to land a castle of your own. So,
yeah.
Absolutely go for it.
Yeah, I really don't see the problem. I might as well just embrace oblivion. Gideon W. is here with a question. You've become the comic superhero Bumble King. What's your origin story?
Well, after being bitten by a radioactive podcast.
Well, I was thinking, we wake up in a room with a bed and a window.
All right, so our origin story is in medias res. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Right, why not? Why not?
Or I said radioactive podcast, but let's really lean into the Peter Parker duplicity thing here.
Yeah.
As the mighty, stupendous Bumble King, I go out and do my daring do with nary a concern on what is actual written law or international law. Just do what's right.
Yeah.
And then in my off hours, come back to the BumbleKast where I deride the Bumble King for all the reckless things he does. Go full shock jock on this and get all the views, all the hate clicks.
Yeah.
And that finances my Bumble Cave.
Good. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Might as well.
I'm assuming you're my sidekick, and I promise you will not have to wear the tiny boy shorts.
Okay, good. A shipping question threw Gwen Stacy off the bridge. We know that. We know that. Hero Squad asks, Tangled, but with Tingle instead. How does it go?
Let me put it this way. He's locked in the tower, but not because of the hair.
No. He's locked in the tower because nobody wants him to leave.
Like, Flynn gets him out by accident, and it's just Tingle chasing him around the rest of the movie.
Oh, no.
Almost like this Pepe Le Pew type of thing. Do you have to follow me? Oh, I do, my dashing Hirukululimpa.
Uh-huh.
And it's just this long buddy travel comedy trying to stuff Tingle back in the tower.
But in the end, they get married. Still have to have
and
that.
Then they have a weird cameo in Frozen. I don't like this extended universe. This is weird.
Oh, boy. Let's move on to a question here from Jara. It's been a long journey in our A Day in the Life of a Regular Citizen of Drogoon series. First, we started with Nurmieheim. Then second was Orchidheim. For the third realm, we had Droughtheim. For the fourth, we had Adjectiveheim. And the fifth, Shanteheim. But now we reach the end with a final realm, which could be Humorheim or maybe Dragoonheim. Let the curtain be lifted one more time into an average day in the life. P.S. Thank you for being a good sport about this silliness.
Well, thank you for prompting all of this free advertisement for my stuff. So,
True.
Although I'm going to dock you a point for Adjectiveheim as a reach. That's the coming for me. However, double points for Shanteheim. That's funny. Drogenheim, not going to touch on. That is like end game stuff. That's quiet.
Yes.
So Humeheim is our last stop. Humeheim is the kind of central realm to everything, both figuratively and literally. It is the seat of power for Galaxant. It is where most of the resources and money go in. Not a whole lot goes back out. There are about, I'd have to look this up again. This is why I make notes. 5 or 6 major urban city centers, curiously arranged near the gateways that lead to the other realms. Almost like by design.
Weird.
But a lot of undeveloped natural land towards the interior. And a lot of that is corporate farming, and a lot of that is just untamed wilderness that some fools try to go off and explore, and that's kind of illegal, but, what are you going to do? Stop them? Most of the population lives in the major urban city centers. If you own a car, more likely than not, it is attached to the electric grid system that powers the rest of the city. So you don't have to worry about gas, but you can't really leave the city because not a lot of roads leaving the city. There is some interconnected highway, sure, but you're kind of meant to stay where you are. You're born, you grow up, you learn to do your thing, you do your thing. You stay in the city, you have kids so that they can grow up and do their thing. It's how you do. If you work hard enough, though, maybe you'll earn enough money and prestige to move up the social ladder, maybe become a duke or a duchess, maybe even a lord if you just work hard enough. Everyone else, they don't work hard enough, but you can work hard enough. Or maybe you'll win the lottery, one of the two. But clearly, there is an obvious way up. Or of course, you could join the Marshals or the Rangers. I mean, anybody in Galaxant can join, technically, but it's mostly human because you don't want some animal telling you what to do, do you? No, of course not. You need a proper human. And those, you can really rise up the social ladder, and that you just have to put in the hours and do all the military training, and don't really worry about if you ever have to imprison your friends or family, because if they broke the law, they need to pay the price. This is obvious, because everything is in service to the Forever King. Everything reminds you that it's in service to the Forever King. The cartoons, the cereal, the newspaper, the news, everything reminds you that you are here for one purpose, and that is to serve the Forever King. And you do it well enough, you're going to rise up through the ranks, and you're going to live the good life. Your father didn't do that. Your grandfather didn't do that. Your great-grandfather probably didn't do that either. But you work hard enough, you can achieve that. Absolutely. Put in the hours. You'll see it happen. You just know it. Now, there is time for travel, of course. Go to the other realms, see how it is, see how much better it is in Humaheim. They do things differently elsewhere. How weird. They do it better in other realms. Don't be ridiculous. They're kind of getting into your head. Time to go back home, get back to work. Got to get that weird foreign programming out of your brain, because you work for the Forever King. Got to go to church at least once a week. People are going to give you a look. So you also have to pay every time you go. And it's part of your regular taxes. Because, the religion is the foundation of your people. The Drogoon made you this way. How would you not fund the church and the military police and the government? Really? They're all there for you. It only makes sense that you shell out so much to make sure that everything is maintained just the way it is. Except for you, who are going to rise up that ladder, and then you won't have to pay as much because, hey, you worked hard. You got to the top.
Oh, yeah. This doesn't sound like it. I don't know where you got any of these ideas from. This sounds crazy, Ian.
Completely original. No social commentary at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. But you're not going to tell us about Dragoonheim?
Dragoonheim is like central linchpin to everything, so no.
Okay.
No. When you visit, when we get to Dragoonheim, that's when one of the biggest shoes drops. So mum's the word there.
Okay. No spoilers here. Next up, a question from Jeremy and Rachel. Congratulations on the new progress with Dragoon. We're both working on getting our own stories with big expansive worlds started, and elemental magic is a key component of them. Ian and Kyle, what are your favorite kinds of elemental magic? If you'd like to elaborate, tell us examples of really creative uses of them you've seen in various media. They can be anything from fire, water, lightning, metal, sound, void, soul, time, etc.
Maybe I'm boring, but I like the simple, straightforward magic system that you can build on in fun ways.
Yeah, I agree.
We've seen the core elements multiple times, and that's a little hackneyed. But when you start renaming it to stuff, or start getting into weird sub-elements or original elements, or try to break the mold, to me, it's never been easy to digest. I'm going to tip my hand here a little bit with the various Hoyoverse games that I've played. Mm-hmm. With Genshin, it's a basic set of elements, but it makes sense. It's very accessible, and you can figure out what elements interact with each other without a lot of brain juice. You're in the middle of a fight. You know what your team can do. You can put it all together. You can get a reaction. You can min-max it to a degree that I do not. I do not have the brain for the math, and there's a certain order of how they will interact and how to compound it in a way that makes it even better. And no.
Yeah.
I just know if one thing has an element on, and you hit it with another element, that make number get big. That's good enough for me. That's fine. And I appreciate that there is more intricacy to it, but that's not for me. That's fine. But Star Rail, they do stuff like imagination and the hunt and propagation, and I appreciate them trying to do something different, but I have no idea what any of that means in terms of interactions or what is inherent to the play style. Yeah. If something is pyro, it make it go burn. It hot.
Yeah.
If you go to your imagination, you throw a hat, there's a clock guy. What does that mean?
I always want to make it so complicated for no reason other than the fact that they can. It's
part of Star Rail is it's very weird in general. It's very science fantasy. It plays a lot with perception and what even is reality. And I appreciate, again, them trying to break things up and having the gods be representative of something larger than just your base elements.
Mm-hmm.
But from an accessibility point, I don't get it. It doesn't feel intuitive to my interaction with anything, or it doesn't really feel like it informs any of the characters in any reasonable degree, with a few notable exceptions. And then with Zenless, that's one of the reasons why I'm not playing it anymore, is I have no idea what any of these base things mean for these characters or any clear interaction between them.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, I could sit down and read and study it, but I don't feel like it is intuitive. And a lot of the verbiage in Zenless is just dense and not very helpful.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's a bit that way in Genshin too. They have cleaned that up a bit apparently, but some of it's still pretty opaque. It's like,
oh yeah, I'm not putting on too high of a pedestal. Like, I watched the video that they put out for Novelette, and it's like, use the blah 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 to interact with the blah blah blah, and once it reaches the blah blah blah, it causes the ting tang to walla walla bing bang. I'm like, what?
What are you talking about?
Aaliyah says, use your skill, hold down attack. That makes the water beam. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Push A, then B.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say.
And again, I don't want to boil it down too much, because if it's completely brain dead, it's not engaging.
Oh, right.
But if you dress it up with so much frou-frou in-universe language,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes so dense, it's inaccessible.
Seventh phone on. Explain it.
I am not getting into the seventh phone-ons from Tales of the Abyss. You can't make me.
I think we're in the weeds on this question enough as it is.
Yeah. So my favorite magic systems are the ones that you can get into at the base level very easily, have some recognizable elements, but you can build upon in interesting and intricate ways. Like, not to send up the bosses too much, but the Aether series elements, I dig that because you have 4. You got fire, water, earth, wind. But from there, you have the different permutations to explore so that you have the core idea of each, but you can go nuts in many directions from there. So you understand the basic principles, but if you explore, it makes sense as you go further afield.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of how Avatar was, which I suppose was only inevitable to bring up at this point.
Yeah.
Either one of us was going to bring it up. But like, you have the base elements, but then as the series progressed, characters found more creative uses of bending, in terms of like using earth to bend metal, or using water bending to bend blood inside the human body. That's a little crazy. Or lightning. It's electricity with pyro, with fire. Yeah. Stuff like that.
But with the Avatar example specifically, it isn't just, oh, you know how to bend water, you can bend blood. It is a specific understanding of what blood is. It's under a full moon so that your powers are heightened enough that you can access it. There's levels to it. Or with the metal building, it's being able to understand the rock enough that you can sense the impurities in it that are more metallic, so that you can talk to it in its own language,
right,
and make it move from there. That's what I'm talking about. The core idea is there, and then you can explore it in neat ways and expand upon it. So yeah, good example.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. That's the one I thought of, was like, okay, if we're going to do that, then it's like, yeah, I know it's like the obvious one, but it's also like, it's really cool. I mean, you could do lava bending as an earthbender too. That's another one that they also had. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of cool potential ideas there. Chrysalis has a question. Dear Ian and Kyle, any hopes or predictions for Deltarune's 3rd and 4th chapter secret bosses? Oh, and if y'all have already seen them, by the time y'all get to this, can y'all talk about Jeevel? Thanks. Keep up the good work, you two. Thanks, Chrysalis.
So as of this recording, if there was a secret boss in chapter 3, I missed it.
Yeah.
And I think I know that I missed one, and I think I know how I missed it, and it makes me salty because it's 100% a skill issue early on. The other final boss, secret bosses, you had to go the extra mile. You had to do the little mini quest or whatever to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm right with chapter 3, you have to perform well in the main quest from the get-go to make it happen. And that I don't like. With chapter 4, if this is the secret boss, and I'm pretty sure it is, given what I had to go through to get to it, it's really neat, but oh my God, the words I have said to this thing. I think I've gotten like 1 or 2 rounds away from the ending, but it's a battle of attrition. And
Oof.
I don't have the hand-eye coordination to make this happen. It's frustrating because I can't really blame it on design or anything. It's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't fix me. I am what I am here. So it's like, I want to achieve it. I don't want to just watch it on YouTube because that's not the same thing. I want to get it done so I have the stuff that you get from it to move on into the next chapters. I don't want to lose any potential progress or stuff, but I don't know. I may have hit a wall. Then again, I'm also to the point where I think I'm on my way to the final encounter, and that has stonewalled me super hard.
Uh-oh.
So I don't even know if I want to make it to chapter 5.
Uh-oh. Well, I still haven't played it, so.
And now
I know. I should.
Did I do Jevil or
Might
not?
eventually.
Did I miss Jevil?
I don't know.
Because if I missed Jevil and chapter 3, I might as well just start over.
You might as well just stop, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if I have Chris's level of determination.
Well, I'm determined to get to this last question from Quishpin. You were hired as director for a video game adaptation of The Secret of Nim. You have complete creative control of the project. How does it turn out? Visual novel?
Maybe?
That's a bit... This is just a repeat of the book. But
see,
traumatizing, I think, is the answer.
Because if you do a game adaptation, you want the interactivity of the game to elevate or at least explore another aspect of the story that you can't get from just reading it or just watching the movie. But the narrative is so tight, I don't know what you would really do to explore it in any kind of new way or any meaningful way. Like, there are some game adaptations that I just have no interest in, like so many of the Dragon Ball games where it's you're playing through the anime again with some filler fights, and then you do the fights that happen in the anime, but you've already seen this, you've already read this. All you're doing is you're mashing buttons to do what you already know is going to happen. There's no real change. I don't see the appeal in that myself. Or the Demon Slayer games that they have coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they're gorgeous. And maybe they are fun to play, but they're so faithful to the manga and the anime, as far as I'm aware, that again, you're just going through the story again with extra steps. I don't personally see the appeal of that. And I wouldn't want to revise the story of Secret of Nim because it's a good story. It's just that is. So I don't know. Maybe if it was kind of a third person platformer exploration thing so that you get more of Miss Brisby's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the book, you can imagine enough. In the cartoon, it's very much on her level. But like, I don't know. Can you imagine going up to the owl's roost, but it's to scale? So
yeah,
either you're zoomed out to see how small Brisby is, or you're right there on her shoulder and seeing how big the owl is. That might bring a different experience.
Okay. Maybe you could do a Soulsborne game.
Yeah, maybe.
in that sort of vein. Interesting.
Except you can't fight back at all because you're a tiny little mouse.
Well,
in a very big world.
Ian, sometimes you gotta change things up a little bit.
No,
adaptational badassery. You gotta add a little bit.
If we're gonna have mice in a Souls-like, then just adapt Mouse Guard and do that.
Mm-hmm. I guess apparently Little Nightmares is more of a game, is something along this line. So that's interesting.
And we're gonna wrap it up here from the BumbleKast. It's been a long one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you've been asking so many wonderful questions sent through patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or by being a YouTube member. I can't stop talking. Blah, 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 blah. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time at home or wherever you're listening to this. Kyle, are you having a good time?
Always.
Well, let's put a stop to that.
Okay.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Yes. No more good times allowed. The good times are over.
It's over!
It's over. Dear Ian and Kyle, any hopes or predictions for Drogoon's third and fourth chapter secret bosses? Yep. Oh, and have y'all already seen them by the time y'all...
Nope. Kyle.
What?
It's not Drogoon. I appreciate it, but it's not Drogoon.
Did I say Drogoon?
You said Drogoon.
Well... What are the final bosses? What are the final bosses of Delta Root or Drogoon's third and fourth chapters? Secret bosses. Come on,
we'll find out when we get to Trogenheim.
Okay.
Take two.
All right. Okay. Fresh and ready whenever you are.
BumbleKast, June 11th, 2025 in 3, 2, 1... It's a BumbleKast Mini?
Nope.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Where did that come from?
Wow. Good job.
BumbleKast regular flavor, June 11th, 2025 in 3, 2, 1.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
There's a short comic that I was going to work on last year. Plans fell through. Get it up and running this year.
Right.
And fine, cool. I did all the base level stuff. I'll find that, revise, refine, and go from there. I remember doing the research. I remember putting down stuff. It's not on my hard drive.
Uh-oh.
It's not in my Google Docs. It doesn't exist. I search character names, I search project name, I search keywords, crucial keywords. Like, the project has not changed at all. It's not there. I remember writing this. It's not there. I started a fresh document and picked up immediately where I left off with the research. I knew exactly where it was. And it's like, oh yes, I read this and I wrote this down. I made this decision. Da, 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 da. Where is the document, Kyle?
Let's see here. Hold on a second. Did you write it in Google Docs?
I thought I had. And I've got a few folders, stuff for my stuff that's for work. Did I save it in the wrong folder? Because that happens.
Yeah.
Searched everything. No dice.
It's not
Same thing with my hard drive. I haven't done a sufficient backup. Probably should do that soon.
Yeah, you should.
So it didn't get moved anywhere and got forgotten. It would have just been copied anyway. Not in my work files, not in my personal files, not just in the random documents folder. It's gone.
Did you try turning the document off and turning it back on again?
It's not a huge loss because it needed heavy revision anyway.
Yeah.
And I did remember where stuff was online to, verify what I remembered researching. So I could hit the ground running all the same. But I remember writing this down. And it's not one of those things where I craft it all in my head and don't actually put it on the page. I do that all the time. This was specific things, key things to this particular project that I wanted to put down to run by the artist before I moved on to script. It's not in my inbox. It's gone. And I would chalk it up to, I just thought about it and didn't actually do it, except all the stuff I remember researching, I found again. Why wouldn't I have written it down if I was researching it? So, quick, Kyle, is it Berenstain or Berenstein?
It's Berenstain. Has been this whole time.
Ketchup or catsup?
Ketchup.
Okay. Okay.
Not cat soup.
Which way does the toilet bowl flush?
I don't know.
Dad, Kyle, these are the important questions.
Is it counterclockwise?
I have jumped. I've leaped too far.
Is it counterclockwise? I can't remember right now. I honestly can't remember. Yeah.
That's been bugging me a little bit today.
It's funny. It's gone. You ate it. Or I ate it. You don't know that. I might have.
And we can't prove otherwise.
Yeah. Or, Molly ate it.
Before we had her.
I believe that. Well, she found it anyway and ate it.
She's a little chaos demon, so what is time to her?
See? She got into your stuff and ate it. That's it. Your cat ate your homework. Wow. Well, I mean, at least you remember it enough to start over.
Yeah, again, didn't really lose anything overall because I needed to heavily revise anyway. I knew that, but just...
Yeah.
It so feels like an Alzheimer's moment, but I know I'm not crazy.
I
know I'm not crazy.
Are you sure about that? You did have to take a long time to recover from a recent concussion. Are you sure this isn't
shut up.
Are you sure this is not a concussion-based thing where you thought you did something the whole time and you never actually did it?
Couldn't remember the character name specifically.
Yeah.
And so I go looking for it, and I find something that's related. I'm like, but I don't remember the name being that.
Mm-hmm.
And I search every permutation of the query, and I'm trying to find stuff, and I'm running into stuff that is not related or stuff that is more current, but it's not what I want. And
yeah.
So finally I just break down and search up that particular character name. I'm like, oh, no, there's all this artwork and concept stuff that aligns with what I remember, just not the name. So, okay, I misremembered the name. That's got to be on me. That all evidence points to that.
Uh-huh.
The missing document, I don't know. Gremlins.
Oh, man.